I'm going to be doing how to apply a sling and a binder. I currently don't have a binder or a sling or anyone to participate, so I will be using my towel as a sling, made into a triangle, like a triangle bandage. And for the splint, I will have to improvise. Okay. So first off, when you're applying a sling and a binder, the first thing you should always do, obviously in every single case, is you have to get consent from the injured person, no matter what, or if the circumstances allow, because sometimes they may be unconscious. But if that's the case, you wouldn't be worried about a sling and a binder. So you ask the person, of course, you address yourself. Hello, my name's Jason Conrad, blah, blah, blah. I am certified in CPR and first aid. You tell them. If they allow you to give them help, you give them help. Second thing is you want to support the injury right away. Because if it's a broken arm, broken wrist, broken anything, you don't want to just have it dangling around everywhere. Because then it's going to just keep injuring them, and it's going to get worse, or it's going to keep hurting them. So first, if let's say they broke their arm, you want to get the arm, you want to support it, get in a comfortable position, and you want to make sure you're supporting it from below and above, because you don't want it to move a lot, you don't want it to keep hurting them. So you support it like that, and if it's all good, you check for circulation. Most of the time, if someone has broken a bone, fractured a bone really bad, something like that along those lines, you're going to see a loss of blood circulation, and the skin around there, it's going to start to become a little cold. It's going to start to become pale because there's just no circulation going through those parts. So you have to check to see if you feel warmth, if you feel anything along those lines. Next, you have to position the sling. Alright, so positioning the sling. Hold on, let me make this into a triangle real quick. I'll keep talking while I'm doing it though. So, the most important step about positioning the sling is you don't really want to keep doing it. Because if you keep just moving their arms and they're injured, you keep moving it because you keep messing up, no one's going to be happy. So, hold on. This is my triangular piece of bandage. So first, what you want to do is you want to get it, so have them support it still. This is going to be hard. You want to put it around under their arm that's injured, so like this. Then you want to bring the bottom piece over like this. So you can support the elbow to arm, keep it in place. And while you do that, you want to bring this half up like that and this half up like that. Bear with me. The whole point is to have it supported. So the side taking most of the tension is going to go over the uninjured shoulder, and the side going over here is the one that's just going to be supporting. That's when you tie in the back, or you secure it. Make sure it's very secure. But before you secure, you gotta make sure you bind it in place. So for the splints, you want to make sure that you have something in between here and here going up, so you don't have the person's arm moving. It should be 1 inch. It shouldn't move more than 1 inch. If it moves more than 1 inch, then that's considered a bad job. But alright, you get the point. So basically, if it moves more than 1 inch, then you didn't bind it to the right way, you didn't splint the right way. Should always splint it. Make sure you're covering this part with some type of padding right here too, because it's going to be very uncomfortable. It's going to be a lot of rubbing. Also, the parts that go around the neck over here, you want to make sure that there's some padding so the friction doesn't hurt too much. But the last steps after you bind it and you make sure everything's secure, you're gonna tie the backs. Like I said, there's supposed to be a little piece right here. You either twist it, you tuck the excess piece, and then that's when you get an additional medical bandage, and you would secure it from this point around the chest, around the back, so that it does not move any more than it has to. After you do all those steps and you make sure that you apply this sling the proper way, make sure the splints are in the proper place, make sure they're secure so that the person isn't moving too much, the person isn't gonna hurt their arm repeatedly, feel too much pain. The last step, after you make sure all your bandages are good, you make sure you cover the parts next to their neck so they don't get too irritated. You have to recheck for circulation. So that's when you would, obviously with care, recheck some of the parts around the injury. Make sure nothing got worse. Sometimes if you tie it too tight, you'll start to see more parts of the body around there with no circulation because you just tied it too tight, and that's not good either. If you do notice that he or she or someone decides that there's more circulation and they are getting better, that's great, that's good. But if there is still that paleness, that's when you know you probably should go to the doctor. You probably broke something, probably caused an injury that's maybe worse than just shaking it off. So yeah, I hope that was clear.